So guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Red Manx TV. And the season has ended and it's time to rate every single player out of 10 for their season overall. For everyone, please drop a like on the video, subscribe down below with notifications on so you guys can keep up to date with new vids, and let me know down below what you would rate every single player out of 10 for their season that just went by. But anyway guys, let's get on to the video. So guys, we're going to start with the goalkeepers, and that means David De Gea in net. And overall this season, I'm going to give De Gea a 6 out of 10. It's been a very odd season for De Gea, of course, having the first half of the season in net, and then being replaced by Dean Henderson in the second half, which still to this day, I didn't really get. I didn't really back that decision. But overall, when De Gea has played, I think he's been really, really good. I think he's been very consistent. In moments, he's looked like prime David De Gea. An example for that is that Roma game in the second leg, where he was absolutely brilliant, made some top-class saves, but also in moments this season, he's made a lot of mistakes, and I think Henderson coming in and challenging him has definitely affected David De Gea's confidence as well. There's a massive drop in confidence in David De Gea. He just doesn't look like David De Gea of a few years ago. And do I think he'll ever get back to that position? I don't think he will. I think it's time maybe up at Manchester United. I still think he's a top keeper. I still back him. But, you know, we've got to look forward now. Maybe Dean Henderson is the better option to go with. And, of course, signing that massive contract he did, I think Dean Henderson also has the backing behind the scenes as well. So I do think David De Gea may be on the way out. But tell me what you guys think down below. But overall, I'm going to give David De Gea a 6 out of 10. He's not been brilliant, but he's also not been bad this season, or has he? So a 6 out of 10 is probably deserved. And now on to Dean Henderson. And for me, I don't think he's had enough games for me to get a real notice of him. Maybe a full season will probably be better, and then I can judge him, because I don't know if I trust him as Manchester United keeper going forward. Of course, when he has played in the second half of the season, I don't think he's been bad. There's still a lot of things he can improve on, but that's going to come, because of course, it's a massive job being Manchester United keeper. You're not going to have to make a lot of saves, but when there's a chance, you've got to be ready, and that's the problem with Dean Henderson. I don't think he's ready for that keeper spot yet. Maybe he will be next season. He does have the backing going into next season as well, so you may as well see him in net next season ahead of De Gea while De Gea moves out. But overall, I'm going to give Dean Henderson a 5 out of 10 overall. He does look good, but I probably have to see a full season in my opinion. He probably hasn't had enough games for me to rate him, so I think that's fair overall. So 5 out of 10. And now on to the defenders, and first up is Victor Lindelof. And for me this season, I'm going to give Victor Lindelof a 4. I was going to give him a 4 out of 10, but I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10, just below average in my opinion. Yet again this season, it's been another really poor season for Victor Lindelof. Of course, he's been the main partnership alongside Maguire this season, and yet again, after every game, we're pointing out mistakes Lindelof has made. He's not physical enough. I don't think he will be here at Manchester United this season, and just to put it bluntly, I don't think he's good enough at all for Manchester United. He's been here a lot of years now. We've gave him a lot of chances as well, especially this season, and he just hasn't stepped up in my opinion. So overall, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. I don't think he'll be here next season. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully we'll sign a centre-back. But yeah, I don't think he's been good enough. So I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. And now on to Eric Bally, and it's the same situation for me. He's not had enough games this season. Of course, at the beginning of the season, he was getting a chance, but then again, he would just get injured. And we know that with Bally. He's very injury-prone, and that's why, in my personal opinion, I would not give him a new contract, which apparently is in the books. I think that's be a waste of time. I think the amount of times he gets injured is really, really poor. And, with Bally, he was getting a good chance until, he was going, and then he would just get injured. So he wouldn't get that full running that he probably deserved, and he's had that many times this season. It's very unfortunate. I think Bally's a top centre-back. I don't think he should be Manchester United centre-back full-time alongside Maguire. I think we need to bring someone in for that. But overall, I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. Now, 5 out of 10, but that's just because he's not played enough for me this season. So, yeah, tell me what you guys think down below. Phil Jones, 10 out of 10. Absolutely brilliant. Future centre-back alongside Maguire. Now, I'm joking. Of course, he's not played for Manchester United this season. He is still here, surprisingly. I don't know what he's doing. He's probably just sitting at home, with a massive contract and being like, well, I wish I was there alongside Maguire, but no, I'm going to give him, I can't rate him. But on to Maguire now, and this is really, really interesting for me. Harry Maguire this season, I think he's had a really good season. I don't think it's been, top class like Ruben Diaz has, but we've seen a massive improvement compared to last season, where he wasn't good enough. He was making a lot of mistakes, and I think, Harry Maguire being captain, he's probably gone on to thrive with that. I think he has. I think that he's really taken that opportunity of being captain and proved it to us. I think, you know, at times this season he's looked demanding. He looks like a captain now. Can't even speak. He looks like a captain now where he didn't last season. And overall, I've just seen a massive improvement in him, defensive wise, aerial duels wise. I think overall this season there was a stat that was shown on one of the games where he's literally top for every single stat for a defender. So I do think he's very underrated. I do think the price tag, of course, you know, people call that out. And, you know, maybe he's like a 60 million, 50 million player. But, you know, you've got to look past that price tag now. And this season, I think he's shown a massive improvement. I'm really, really happy with him. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I really am. I was going to give him an 8, but I think that's too generous because he's not been outstanding, has he? But we've seen a lot of improvements. So, yeah, 7 out of 10. And now on to Diego Dallow. Not played for Manchester United at all this season, has he? Unless he played at the start of the season, which I'm not too sure of. He moved to AC Milan, and I've heard he's been pretty good there. So, you know, props to him. But, yeah, he's not played for Manchester United. So, on to Luke Shaw now. And again, Luke Shaw, what a season that guy has had, of course. Being put into Manchester United's first team as a left-back, he's just thrived, hasn't he? Compared to last season, where he's being called overweight, being called not good enough. What a season that guy has had. We are one of our best players. You could say he was our player of the season. Of course, got Players Player of the season for the awards ahead of Bruno Fernandez. So that just proves how much the players have recognised how good he's been this season. Going forward, brilliant. Helps out in the attack a lot. Defensive-wise, very reliable. And, you know, we're in a time where we just expect Luke Shaw to have a good game. We're not like, yeah, Luke Shaw needs to improve. We're never like that. We're like, you know, maybe you can go forward. Maybe you can get from that 7 out of 10 to an 8 out of 10 performance. So overall, I think Luke Shaw has been absolutely brilliant. One of our best players this season. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 alongside Maguire. You could have given him an 8. I think that'd just have been too much, but I think a 7 is fair. But you could as well give him an 8. Let me know what you think down below. But on Alex Telles now, in my opinion, he hasn't got enough games for me to rate him. But when he has played, I don't think he's been good enough. But that's probably because he's not got enough opportunities this season as well, has he? So, yeah, I'm not going to rate him because he hasn't been in... Well, actually, I'll give everyone a rate. So I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. He's not been very good. And now on to Aaron Wan-Bissaka now. This is really interesting for me because, again, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, brought in from Crystal Palace, had a really, really... first season at Manchester United, I think, was pretty poor. That's probably just because he was getting into the hang of things. But this season, for me, he's been 50-50. He's had an average season, so I'm going to give him a 6, just above average. I think he's just been a bit better than average. I think at times he looks alright. Defensively, brilliant. Nothing to say defensively bad about him. You know, one of the best tacklers in the league. Really brilliant. Knows how to defend. But it's just attacking-wise. And fullbacks nowadays, go forward, come back. Go forward, come back. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I don't think at this point can do that. Maybe he can get trained on that, and maybe next season we can see a different Wan-Bissaka. But at times he's been at faults for goals. He's always at last man, so he, you know, definitely needs to get more forward as well with the defence. But overall, I think, you know, it's been an average season for him. I can't say anything too bad about him, but yeah, he does need to improve going into next season. So for me, I'm going to give Aaron Wan-Bissaka a 6 out of 10. But now on to Brandon Williams, and again, the problem with Brandon Williams is he's not got enough opportunities alongside of a lot of players this season. Sometimes come on off the bench. Has he played this season? He may have played once or twice, maybe even 3 times. I'm not too sure. I haven't really noticed him at all. But overall, yeah, he just hasn't got the opportunities. Maybe needs to go on loan. But when he has played, again, 4 out of 10 for me. Doesn't look too good. You can tell he loves the club. You can tell he breathes Manchester United. But overall, yeah, I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. He just hasn't got the opportunities for me. On to Axel Tuanzebe now. And I think Axel Tuanzebe, for me, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10, just above average. Of course, when he has got the opportunities, which I think he deserves way more opportunities than he does get, I think he's a top-class centre-back. He could well play alongside Maguire, but I do think we'll probably need a centre-back, an experienced centre-back to come in the summer, which hopefully we get. But when he has played, as I said, he's been absolutely brilliant. For example, that PSG game where he pocketed Neymar and Mbappe, where in that game is absolutely brilliant. That was probably his best game of the season. Probably, in my opinion, should have got ahead of Bally in the Europa League final, but he just didn't. So overall, I'm going to give Tuanzebe a 6 out of 10. I know he hasn't played too much, but when he has played, I think he's been brilliant. So overall, 6 out of 10. And Tendon Menji hasn't played really, has he? Will Fish hasn't played. Came on the last day of the season. So overall, yeah, can't rate those. So that's it for the defenders, guys. Let me know what you guys think down below. Give them a rate out of 10 for every single one. Let me know if you agree with me. But now, let's get on to the midfielders. So guys, then we're going to move on to the midfielders and we'll kick it off with Paul Pogba. And overall this season, I'm going to give Paul Pogba a 6 out of 10. And that's only because for the majority of the season, he was out with that injury. And then he obviously came back into the squad, playing alongside Bruno Fernandez, which I was really happy about, really excited for. And of course, I think both of them brought the best out of each other. But one thing that frustrated me the most with Paul Pogba is that he was played on the left by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because McFred were in the middle. I think he trusted them too much, so he had to move Pogba onto the left. And I don't think that's his best position. We get the best out of Pogba, playing him in his natural position in that centre mid position, but he didn't play that much, only in the Europa League final and a one-off game, you could say, and that's what frustrated me the most. Although he did play well on the left now and then, did have some good moments, scored against AC Milan to get us through, so he did have some good moments this season, but overall, I think there's still things he can improve on. I still think he's a bit lazy at times, being consistent at times, but I love Paul Pogba. I hope he's here next season. I hope he doesn't end up going to Juve or someone, which I don't think he will because of the COVID market. But overall, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. That's only because he was injured for the majority of the season, so I didn't really see much of Paul Pogba this season, or did I? So overall, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. And on to Juan Mata now. I'm going to give Juan Mata a 5 out of 10. He hasn't played that much this season, or has he? He's been on the bench the majority of the season, but I was really happy when he scored that goal, that penalty against Wolves on the last day of the season, because his mum died, so that was a really good moment for him, and it does look like he's on his way out of Manchester United. So that's no better way to go out, has it? And to score a penalty in the Europa League final, even though he did not win that for him, which is unfortunate. But yeah, when he has played, he doesn't have the legs anymore for the Premier League, so it's probably best he does end up going now, moving on wherever he goes, maybe move out somewhere, maybe just retire overall. And I do wish him a happy retirement. But he still has a pass. He still has that pass in him, but he's just not good enough anymore. So I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10 for when he did play. And on to Jesse Lingard now. And, I can't rate Jesse Lingard, or if I was rating him at West Ham, I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10 because he has been absolutely brilliant there since he joined. But I'm not doing that, so I won't give him a rate for Manchester United. But Andres Pereira as well moved away on loan to Lazio, I think. So don't know how he's getting on there. Doesn't really play much, but overall for Manchester United as well, hasn't really played much at all. So overall, not really going to give him a rate. And on to Bruno Fernandez now. And this was the one I was waiting for. Bruno Fernandez, for me, is going to get an 8 out of 10 overall, and that's going to be the highest player, spoiler alert for you there, the highest player, which will get the highest rating this season overall. An 8 out of 10, I think he's been absolutely brilliant yet again this season. Where would we be without Bruno Fernandez in this squad? He was an absolute game changer in this team. I wish he was captain. I think he's captain material. He leads the team on. He gets, if he's having a bad game, he gets an assist. He gets an goal. And towards the end of the season, he was pretty poor, but that's only because, in my opinion, he was being overplayed like a few of these players have towards the end of this season. I just don't think he had the legs anymore in the last couple of games. But how good has he been? If he's scoring free kicks, he's scoring penalties, he's scoring goals, assists. He's just been an all-round player this season for Manchester United, and definitely our signing of the season. We signed him last season, didn't we? I think our best signing thinks since Robin van Persie, in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but I think he's been that good for Manchester United, and I hope he does sign a new contract, which apparently is in the works. So I'm really excited for that. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for me, absolutely brilliant. Now we move on to Amad Diallo, and yeah, hasn't had too many games this season, so I'm going to just give him a 4 out of 10. No, actually, I'm going to give, 4 out of 10. I think that's fair for him, isn't he? He's played like once or twice, hasn't he? Came off the bench, scored the goal in the Europa League. But yeah, he does look good. I'm really happy to see him at least play this season, at least some minutes. So I do think he will be here, or he does have a future at Manchester United, doesn't he? He does look good. He looks a very silky player, so I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10, Daniel James, for me, I'm going to also give a 4 out of 10. Has played a few times this season, more than others. But again, with Daniel James, it's just about making the right decision for me. He's very, very poor to watch, very hard to watch as well at times. Goes for the wrong decisions at every single opportunity he gets. I think, he's good against teams that, will push forward, because he's obviously a pace merchant, isn't he? So overall, I'm going to give Daniel James a 4 out of 10. I don't think he's been brilliant. I think he does deserve to go out on loan. I think he deserves full-time football, and I think he might get that somewhere else. He will not get that at Manchester United. So overall, 4 out of 10. And we move on to Pellistri. He's not played at all, has he? So can't rate him. On to Matic this season. I'm going to give Matic a 5 out of 10. I think Matic, for me, he doesn't have the legs anymore, similar to Mata. I don't think he'll be here next season. I think this might have been his last season at Manchester United. But in my opinion, when he has played, he has been alright. I think, I prefer him in the middle when a Scott McTominay or a Fred. I still think he can play there in a good position. I know he's very old, I know that, but he has been good this season when he has played, especially in that last game was it against Wolves or the game before that, where he was running the show? I think it was against Leicester, where he was running the show. It's really good. He was a one-man midfield army there, so I don't think he'll be here next season. Of course, he's not good enough to be here, is he? So I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10 for his whole season. I think it's just been below average for me. Had some good moments, not been good enough, has he? So yeah, 5 out of 10. On Donny van de Beek, and this one's really, really unfortunate for me. I'm not going to give him a rate because he hasn't got... Well, actually, I'll give everyone a rate, as I said. So I'm going to give him a 3 out of 10. But that's just because when he hasn't got the opportunities this season. And when he has played, he's been given 5 minutes, given 10 minutes. And I know he played that last game. I think he got 90 minutes, didn't he? But at times, he just needs to gel into this team, and he hasn't had the opportunity to do that. So when he has played, he hasn't been good because he doesn't get enough opportunities. And as I said, he gets 5 or 10 minutes, and what the hell is going to happen in 5 or 10 minutes? So I'm going to give Donny van de Beek a 3 out of 10, but that's not his fault. Very unfortunate. You can tell he was a player Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't want in the team. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 3 out of 10, but I feel really bad for him. I really, really do. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 3 out of 10. And then on to James Garner, hasn't played really this season, been playing at Nottingham Forest. And we'll move on to Scott McTominay. And for me this season, I'm going to give him a 5 overall. Again, I think he's had a very off and on season. I think he is a bit better than Fred. But again, playing alongside Fred probably hasn't helped him this season. He's been a player that's been trusted a lot by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, always picked over someone else. But, at times, as I just said, he's been good, but he hasn't been, exceptional. He's not a player that will be at Manchester United or can, be at the level Manchester United player. I think both Fred and McTominay can do a job in a championship team. You can do a job in a League One team. They're not special players, and that's why we need to invest and bring someone in with experience who can lead that midfield. Because I don't reckon McTominay is at that moment, is at that level at this moment, in my opinion. I really don't think he is. Although, I think he's better than Fred, but is that saying much, really? I don't think so. But yeah, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. And Hannibal Mejbri, of course, came on in the last game, but again, can't really rate him. He's played 1 game for Manchester United. But there, guys, they're the midfielders. Tell me what you guys think down below. Tell me if you agree with me, disagree with me. Let me know as well. And now, guys, let's go on to the final section, which is the forwards. So, guys, now on to the final section, which will be the forwards, and we're going to kick off with El Matador, Edison Cavani. And overall this season, I'm going to give Cavani a 7 out of 10. And what a season that guy has had at Manchester United. Since he arrived, he's really impressed me as a player. Not only can he score goals, his work rate is exceptional, his positioning is brilliant. Overall, he's just an out-and-out striker, which Manchester United really needed, considering how Martial was performing as well. So I'm so glad that he's taken the opportunity he was given, and he's done absolutely fantastic for himself, and I'm really happy with him. And I think he scored about 11 or 12 goals for Manchester United since he joined as well for this season, so I think that's really exceptional considering he arrived not so long ago, didn't he? So yeah, I think he's done really well for himself. He's still a top-class striker. He's shown us that. He's proved us all wrong. He's signed a contract at Manchester United to keep him here for another year. So, the striker department is probably sorted, considering for at least for another year, considering we signed up Cavani there, because he can do everything. And I have full trust in him that he can, provide us again next season. So overall, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I think he's been one of our better players, especially in the last couple of months or so. And he's added so much to his team. He's been so important as well. So yeah, 7 out of 10. And on to Martial now. And straight away, I'm going to give Martial a 3 out of 10. It's been a really horrible season for Martial overall, of course. At the start of the season, it just wasn't clicking for him. And the thing with Martial is he's a confidence player. And he just wasn't getting that confidence. He wasn't scoring the goals, which was really important to him. I think he needed to get a few. And he didn't end up getting any, did he? So overall, it wasn't working out. I trusted him, after game after game after game. I was hoping it would improve. It just didn't. And then he got that injury, which kept him out for the rest of the season. And since then, of course, he's not really been a miss, has he? Because we had Cavani in now and Mason Greenwood. So, I don't think I have a future at Manchester United if he carries on like this. I don't think nobody will want to buy him either. So I think he will be here next season. But will he play much games after how he's played this season? I'm not too sure. But I'm going to give him a 3 out of 10. It's been a really bad season for Martial, and hopefully that does improve
going into next season after his injury. But of course, guys, next up will be Marcus Rashford, and for me, Marcus Rashford has had a really, really good season for me. He's definitely been one of Manchester United's top 3 players behind Luke Shaw and Bruno Fernandez, and he's just been so important to this team this season. Yes, he's been overplayed. He's played too many games. He's been playing with an injury, but he's still stuck here. He's believed in himself, and he's added so much to this United squad. And, you know, the amount of times he's scored goals in the 90th minute, provided assists, and yes, he still does miss. Yes, he still takes too many opportunities to put that one away. But I think this season has been a major season for Rashford, and he will continue that next season. Of course, getting that call up for England, and once again this season, I think has been very important to us. So yeah, I'm going to give Marcus Rashford a 7 out of 10 overall for his season. And then we move on to the final one, and that will be Mason Greenwood. And for me, Mason Greenwood has had, you know, an odd season. Of course, in the first half of the season, he wasn't very good. He was very, very poor because he had that thing where his friend passed away. And I think that affected him a lot for the first half of the season. He didn't look himself. He wasn't going over to celebrate with the players. He just didn't look like Mason Greenwood. And in the second half of the season, what a season he has had. He's back scoring goals. He's back enjoying himself. And he's my favourite player in the squad. So I'm so happy for him that he's doing so well. But overall, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10 just because he's had, you know, he's had 2 different halves to each season, has he? So yeah, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10 overall. And of course, there is Elanga, who played a few games, did look alright, got a goal, so happy for him over there. So I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10, maybe a 5 out of 10 even, just for those performances. But yeah, I'm not really going to rate him fully. So overall, let me know what you guys think down below, guys. Of course, there is Shola as well, who played a few games. I think he came on as a sub as well, didn't he? So yeah, overall, yeah, it is what it is, guys. Let me know what you guys think down below of my ratings. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know down below. It's been a really, really hard season to watch, hasn't it? But let me give a rating for the manager, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to get a 6. I think a 6 is fair. We've seen improvement. We've not seen success this season where we should have, example with the Europa League. But yeah, overall, he's done well for himself. I think, you know, considering that he wasn't fully backed in the transfer window, he's done really well for himself to get us to that second position. And yes, it's not where they want to be, but we can see improvement. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think down below. Make sure to drop a like on the video. It'd be much appreciated. You've got a keep or sell coming soon as well, which I'm really excited to do. But anyway, guys, if you did enjoy, smash a like, subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys later.